Provincial governments aren't the only ones enforcing mask rules. Canadian airlines require passengers to wear a face covering too. CBC News has learned that dozens of people have been slapped with fines or warning letters for refusing to wear one on board a flight. Michael Serapio here with those details. So Michael, what do the numbers reveal here?
Well, it's really interesting, Asha, because you were talking about Alberta off the top there. And when you look at the hard numbers themselves, Alberta as a province, its airports, they've had to deal with more passengers who are refusing to wear a mask while on a flight than any other province in their airports in our country. And when you look at the air carriers themselves, well, it is WestJet that is dealing with anti-mask passengers more than any other airline. In fact, WestJet passengers account for the 50 of the 72 incidents so far, or nearly 70%, who have received fines or warnings for not wearing a mask while on board a flight. Now, the toughest infractions, so-called administrative monetary penalties, WestJet passengers got 8 of the 9 administered so far. But we have to say WestJet is not the only airline struggling with anti-mask passengers. Air Canada Jazz, Air Transat, Air North, Com Air, Flair Air, KLM, they are all having to deal with passengers who refuse to wear masks, at times becoming belligerent and abusive. And take a look at the following airports, because the encountering challenges are happening here more than others. Calgary International dealing with 37 incidents of anti-masking, Edmonton International dealing with 14, Toronto Pearson dealing with 30, and YVR, Vancouver International, dealing with 18. As for the penalties for not complying, a couple of times passengers have been issued about $1,000 each. Others have ranged, as you said, from warning letters, which could open up more strict fines for a second infraction down the road. Also hundreds of dollars with others. One passenger getting fined for in the $1,500 to the $2,000 range. But it goes to show, while the anti-masking policies are there also for airports and airlines, there is a pushback happening in the air as well, Asha.
Yeah, a pushback. And so I'm wondering, how are the airlines responding to all of this?
Well, you know, they're very quick to point out that these are issues with passengers, not the airlines themselves, because airlines have brought about COVID-19 regulations, among them WestJet. Take a look at the response here from WestJet, because they essentially say, our approach is zero tolerance. As Canadian travelers and all our WestJet Group employees are counting on us to keep them safe. Travelers must understand, if they choose to not wear a mask, they are choosing not to fly our airlines. Again, that's WestJet. As for Air Canada, they remind us that they were among the first airlines to require a face covering for flights. And for those who have a medical exemption not to wear a mask while on flight, take a look at a statement from Air Canada. They say for customers eligible for face covering exemptions as of December 15, 2020, they will also need to present a negative COVID-19 test taken within 72 hours from departure at the airport check-in and or prior to boarding the flight. Again, that is from Air Canada. So really a reminder here, while the policies are in place, there is some pushback. So as we see enforcement on the ground, we're also seeing enforcement in the skies, Asha.
Okay, thanks, Michael.
You're welcome.